The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Welcome, everybody, to the Senior Show, where we have two
wild and aging guys.
I'm your co-host, Neil Himmelstein, Main Street Planning Group, and
Tim Kennedy, your certified reverse mortgage professional. And Neil, we are here every week. Why? Because we want to help people navigate change through experience and peace of mind. Because as we're aging and at each stage of life, right, there's always another set of changes and barriers, another set of rules.
It's amazing.
Right? And all this other stuff is going on. I mean, I'm married 35 years. How many years you married?
40 years last
40
week.
years. So when we were newlyweds, right, or we were dating and courting, and now we're newlyweds and we're looking at houses, and what happens after you buy a house, and then you have some children, and then the children, and then the college, but like in today's day and age, you know, you don't get married, buy a house, and have kids. Now, you can have that in any order now. You can have kids, you can buy a house, you can get married, you can buy a house, you get married, you can have kids. There are no rules anymore.
Please, every day it's a different discussion. I was thinking about it today, a couple of things. I actually was talking to somebody. You know, in the last 5 years, 10 years, just 10 years, you know, and I talked about this before, you know, you used to buy stocks and it was companies. It was, I knew what this company did. This is why I'm buying the stock. Since that time, even the last 10 years, cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, memes.
Well, I remember back in the day.
NTFs. Remember NTFs?
They're talking about,
nobody knows what NTFs are anymore.
Anybody stock. You know, they talk IBM, AT&T, Verizon. Now it's, stuff you never heard of.
Now you have these future markets. This is scary stuff. I'm going to bet on what pitch the pitcher's throwing. I mean, it's down to that now. It's down to somebody placed a bet before we went into Venezuela. We're going to go into Venezuela tomorrow. And they made $1 billion, whatever it is. They bet that we're going to... It's very uncontrolled and scary. And what are we really investing in anymore? It's scary.
Well, there's a lot of things you can't control.
Right.
And they're out of your control. But that's why everybody needs to be prepared for the change, because you may not be able to protect all of what may happen, but through planning and changing and doing the right things, at least now you can mitigate the risk or the loss of whatever that change may be. Right?
And I was thinking the other day, I don't know why this came into my head, but when I was a kid...
Neil, a lot of people ask that question,
Yeah, that's true. But I'm a kid, and I'm like... there's all this music on the elevator, and it was called Muzak, and they played all this old music, and it was like, okay, I'm in the elevator. I remember, the Blues Brothers in the elevator, and they're bouncing, okay. And then about 20 years ago, I'm like, really, that was 20 years ago? 20 years, I said, wow, I'm bopping to that music, man. I know that music. It's a beat, I'm dancing, I'm like... Now they don't have music in elevators anymore.
No more music in the elevators.
I talked to this about my kids. There's no music in elevators anymore. What are you talking about? What's Muzak? Remember Muzak?
Because everybody in the elevator has got their ear things on, and they're all listening to their own music. You don't have to.
They got listening to their music. They're on their cell phones, and I had to look it up. I, like an idiot, I went on ChatGPT, like all my kids are doing, and I said, okay, what percentage of elevators still have music in them? It's down to 4% of all elevators. They don't have it anymore.
On the way here to the radio station, I was listening to WFAN, the sports radio.
Right.
And yesterday was opening day at Citi Field. And one of the broadcasters, big Met fan, Evan, and he lost his license. He lost his wallet. He didn't know where it was. And he said he didn't realize that he had misplaced his wallet because... Talk about change. He didn't need his wallet. Everything he did from the point he got on the train, off the train, into Citi Field, buy food, buy a hot dog, get to his seat, right? Leave the stadium, buy a T-shirt, get back on the train, get home. He used his cell phone. Everything was on the cell phone.
Crazy.
Right? The subway ticket, the entrance into the stadium, the food, the beer. Didn't even know he lost his wallet until he got home.
Wow. So... It's crazy out there.
It's change, man, and it's changing faster and faster than you think.
Well, it's even we talk about some of the products and services, the laws, the environment. It's happening so quickly, and people are frightened. Mm-hmm. People are scared of change.
Yeah,
but change happens no matter what.
It's inevitable. Sure,
it's inevitable. And how you deal with it.
Well, that's the other side of the coin, Neil.
Is what we talk about, is how do we deal with change. So we've had many guests in the past 5 weeks. I think we could name 5 different guests. We had 2 different estate attorneys.
Yeah, we had Larry Shearer and Ron Fatula. 2 excellent, knowledgeable guys here in the state of New York. They are phenomenal.
Right. And they told us how the laws have changed in Medicaid planning. I mean, just in the last year, there's a new law changing that I learned from Larry Shearer about selling your business there's a new code section, tax section 1202, if you're selling your business where you don't have to pay taxes on the growth. Like, this is phenomenal, crazy stuff. But if you're not on top of your game, you don't know this stuff, but you don't have to be on top of your game. You need to call us.
That's right.
And say, hey, this is what's happening in my life. How can you help us?
Neil, remember when we were back in school and the teachers always said to us, there's no such thing as a stupid question?
Right.
So that's exactly what you're implying. For people out there that are owning a business or owning a home or in a relationship or have children, there's nothing wrong with asking the question.
Right.
And it may sound silly to you, or you may think it's stupid, or what, but ask the question, because you have no idea what that question, what the next question it will lead to.
Right.
And then when you find out, I always found out in the classroom when I asked the question, or I had the question, and somebody would ask, I wasn't the only one in the room that had the same question.
I know. The math teachers hated me. Yeah. They hated me because I needed to know how you came up with that formula. And I was number 1 in math until...
I probably would have hated you too.
Until advanced calculus. And that's when I lost it, because I couldn't understand what the hell they were talking about with derivatives and this and that. It has to make sense to me. But the key is, what was yesterday in the way you planned has changed from yesterday to today, and God knows what tomorrow is going to bring.
Yeah.
So in any situation you are, even if Tim or I can't help you with that immediate situation, we're trying to bring on guests and people that are specialists. I don't know everything. Tim, you don't know everything about what I do. I don't know everything.
If you ask my wife, I know absolutely nothing.
Right, there you go.
There you go, right?
That's true. That's true of anyone.
So, Neil, let's talk about change and kind of like, because we talk a lot about the financial aspect of change, right?
Right.
But we had a great guest on here, Tracy Zizza, Root Health Awareness. And, back in the day when they created Social Security, you retired at 62. Life expectancy was like 62 and a half.
Correct.
Social Security is only supposed to be a very short-term supplement.
Right.
Right? But now, today, we are living so much longer. And the Social Security, and it's really not meant to the end-all when you retire. It's it's supposed to be a small supplement to whatever else you have as part of your retirement plan. And the reason I'm discussing this is because, yes, you need a financial plan, but you also need a health and physical plan, because we are living longer.
Right.
And if you're going to live in a home or age in place, and you need to be able to maintain that home, or go up a flight of stairs, or pick up something off the floor and put it on the counter, and vice versa, or getting it out of a car. So my motto now is, I would rather be the oldest guy in the gym than the youngest guy in the assisted living program. So
yeah.
I am full steam, full ahead on taking care of my body, working out and training, because I feel, if I figure out this whole financial thing, the last thing I want to do is be,
it's all about health and wealth.
Yeah.
And real wealth and real health is living a comfortable lifestyle and being able to weather the storm. And you know what my favorite commercial is? I was thinking about this today. There was a commercial on TV. I don't know who it was for. It was probably some investment company. Maybe it was Fidelity or something. The guy is in a swimming pool on a float with his earphones on or something, and he's just laying back going, you don't have to worry about the market, because we are making sure that you don't have to worry about the market. You shouldn't be worrying. You shouldn't be waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning looking at your stocks.
Right.
It's silly. It's crazy. Anyhow, what show is this?
We are the senior show, Neil.
Fantastic. And
Two wild and aging guys.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, Neil, if they want to reach you, how do they reach you, Neil?
Best way is 631-647-4694.
And I am Tim Kennedy, your certified reverse mortgage professional. Any questions, concerns, you can call me at 516-729-6040, or just go to timtalksreverse.com, and we'll be right back.
Fantastic. Welcome back to the Senior Show. How is everybody?
Excellent,
Yes?
Neil. And who are we?
I can see you aging in place as we speak.
You caught me a little off guard there, Neil. I'm sorry.
You're a wild and aging guy. What can I tell you?
It's true. You know, it happens, you know.
I know. No.
You know what I joke to my wife all the time about it. The best part of senility and forgetting stuff is, you know, we put a movie on the TV, and we watched it in the past, and we have no recollection of how the movie ends.
Well, the other thing is about losing your eyesight. You start to see things that you think you see. It's wonderful. You see, oh my God, there's an eagle out there. It could have been a flying.
It could have been.
It could have been a plastic bag flying by. But you know what? I got that good memory of that eagle flying by. That's a good thing.
Hey, Neil, seriously, you know, we've been doing the show now for a month or so, and we spend a lot of time on change, right?
Right.
And people don't understand the importance of that. And really, you know, our whole motivation and goal on this show is really to be a resource to you out there, the listeners, on if and when you had a particular question or a scenario or a what if. Hey, reach out to Neil, reach out to me, and we can point you in the right direction and get you in front of the right person that can help you. That's really our goal and motivation. That's why we're bringing on the guests that we're bringing on.
Yep.
Because I think they're very knowledgeable. They're the top of their game.
Right.
You know, and you know, if I needed an elder law, I would pick Ron or Larry. You know, I pick them up and or if you know, it's just the important. My point is, and I'm sorry I'm dragging this out, but my point is, you know, we're here to be an advocate or a source for you, the listeners, on if and when you needed something, you know, reach out to us.
Give us a call. So last week we had Cheryl, right?
Cheryl Canzanella. Yes, she co-authored the book "A Woman of Wealth."
And the interesting thing is that women are such a vital part of our economy. Always have been, but you know, back in the day, we thought of them as, you know, traditional jobs. But you know, the world has changed.
They're changing,
and women are super powerful. And what I find in women in business is, in most business decisions, whether it's a guy running the company, it's a woman making the decision. They make more decisions than the men do. The men pretend like they know what they're doing, but the women are actually controlling the wealth and the decision making, and it's very important to understand that and to incorporate them
in most cases, Neil, behind every successful man is a very, very strong woman.
Right. And women live longer than men. Did you know that, Tim?
I do know that.
Yes, and that's an actuarial fact. So the cost of life insurance for women of the same age is cheaper than for men. However, something very interesting, because you talked about health, the cost of long-term care insurance for women is more expensive than men. Why?
Because they're living longer.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. So people want to know why there's a price difference. Hey, I'm the same age as my wife. Why is she paying so much less for her life insurance? Why? Because she's going to outlive you by odds. They're going to outlive you, which means they're going to control the wealth when you're gone.
Hey, Neil, just taking a step back and referencing Cheryl Canzanella and her book, The Woman of Wealth, I'm not too sure you're aware of this, and the listeners out there, thank you for your support, but Cheryl achieved her goal, and her book was listed on the bestsellers list.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
I think it was all me and you, Neil.
I think so. I think we took her over the top.
That's it.
How about
That's what we did. Yeah.
Not us. The listeners took us over the top, and I think that's fantastic.
But just think about, like, when we talk about Cheryl, the upheaval and what she has gone through her life with personal, professional, and and here she is, living life to the best of her ability, part of this book and building her business and raising her child, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And there's a million success stories out there, and it takes work and dedication. And one of the strengths Cheryl has is, because I've known her for years, is working with people, not necessarily in her profession, but other people, and forming this relationship to help people achieve their financial goals and other goals, which is what Tim and I do every day. I think it's very important that you integrate various forms. Even doing this radio show, Tim and I don't do the same things, in our what we call our general
profession,
work life. But we intersect because we're helping you achieve what you need to achieve, maybe from a different perspective and angle, and we work as a team and collaborate with other professionals.
Collaborate is the key word, right? Because all these different products that we're talking about and discussing and this, that, and the other thing, like life insurance, annuity, reverse, and life insurance, all that stuff. You just don't do that in a vacuum. You just don't do it one thing and call it you're done for the day. It's really a conversation of all that stuff collaboratively, and each individual, handling their profession.
Right. So we have a lot of estate attorneys on, because one of the primary things that happens is people don't understand. Let's say you're a married couple and you have a couple kids, and you just assume when you pass that, your spouse will get everything, but that's not the case. Your kids may have ownership if you have no will or no protection. For instance, your spouse could own a checking account or a savings account, and maybe you're not on it, okay? It doesn't go automatically to you. It gets split up between you and your children. And people don't realize that. And then all of a sudden they want to access those funds to pay for funeral expenses or whatever, living expenses, and they can't. They got to go to their kids, maybe. And maybe their kids are not getting along with you, got their own spouses. They may not be getting along with you. There's so many things that happen, so you have to do this type of estate planning. And the stigma of estate planning is, I got to have $1 gazillion to do an estate plan. No. Everyone needs to do estate planning. Everybody has this misconception that a trust is for, rich people, right?
Or more affluent individuals. But the truth of the matter is, the irrevocable trust can help out the regular homeowner with a job and a cup of money,
absolutely.
So because the idea is the legacy part of it. Is because whoever created that rumor that we need to leave something to our children, I want to smack that guy. But the truth of the matter is, we want to leave something to our children and not necessarily give it to Uncle Sam.
Well,
and how can you do that?
That's the selfish part of things. I mean, when we pass, we can really leave it to three. There's 3 different ways your money can go. It could go to your children, your spouse, children, family. It could go to a charity.
Yeah.
Or it could go to the government. Now, if you elect not to decide where it goes, well, the government will decide for you. Now, if you want the government to have your money and invest it any way they want, maybe go to a war, maybe,
Yikes.
Maybe spend your money on some fancy airplane, or I'm sorry, am I hitting too close to the political home? I'm not trying to. I'm really not. Yes, I am. Or, build a road or do something that you may not.
Well, just mismanage it. I mean, isn't that the biggest crux at all of it?
But the whole idea of legacy is, listen, I built a business. I want somebody to carry that business forward. Yes, I'm egotistical. I want my name. I want to be remembered by my children. I want to be remembered by others, maybe. So maybe I want to leave it to a charity. I want that charity to remember me. Maybe I want my children to. I want somebody to know, hey, I was on Earth. That's what legacy's all about. I was on Earth, and you know what? I recognize that person that was on Earth. That's my legacy. You
That's
have
right.
your legacy. Yeah. Legacy is not a ego battle. It's really how we want to be remembered.
How you may remember.
And how do we do it in the right way? I can't believe we're out of time.
Holy cow! You better check your clock because that went fast.
Oh my goodness gracious! So Tim, tell us a little bit how to get a hold of you. And
There you go, man. So I am your reverse professional in the area. I'm your certified reverse mortgage professional. You can reach me at 516-729-6040. And again, a reverse mortgage is no longer last resort or last-ditch effort. It's part of the retirement income plan. So if you want to find out more, reach out to timtalksreverse.com. Neil?
And I'm Neil Himmelstein, owner of Main Street Planning Group and host of the Main Street Code for Financial Success. And the best way to reach me is 631-647-4694. Have a great evening and a great week, everybody.
Great week, everybody.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.